Peace, blessings, and protection, my brothers and sisters in faith, in the name of Yahushua the Messiah. As you can see, I have the board today. Also, quick update, short videos I will be posting on TikTok, long videos I'll post on YouTube, because I realized that because TikTok gives me 10 minutes for a video, I end up having to break the video into a part 1 and a part 2. And then people only watch part 1 and not part 2, or they watch part 2 and not part 1, which is a disadvantage because then they are only consuming half the information and not all the information. So it leaves also holes in their information in terms of what they're learning when it comes to narcissism, psychopathy, or just toxic people in general. So today's video is about how the narcissist sees you. So here's the question. How the narcissist, I wrote knock, sees you. Simple answer. They do not see you. I wrote that in red. They do not see you. Let us discuss why the narcissist does not see you. So let's start at the beginning. Let's use a female narcissist, because whether it's a female narcissist or male narcissist, they both see their victims or people this way. So let's take blue pen. Blue pen is this is you. This is you. You are your own person. Why did I write that? You are your own. What's this thing? Sorry. Let's say you are your own person. This is you. This is the narcissist. We'll call that knock. Call that knock, right? So you are an individual on your own. You have your own likes. Can you see that? Okay. You have your own likes, dislikes, interests, strengths, weaknesses. So you are your own individual. Right? You are your own individual. I don't know what is up with the light. So you are your own individual. You have certain things that make up who you are, your own individuality. Then we have the narcissist. Like I said, we're using the female narcissist. The female narcissist, remember with narcissists, like the video I explained, on my TikTok, I have a video where I explain what narcissism is. Not what a narcissist is, what narcissism is. Because for a person to be a narcissist, they have to have narcissism. So on my TikTok, it's pinned at the top of my videos what narcissism is. Watch part 1 and part 2. So the narc, remember, has the narcissism. The narcissism, which is what? The self-defense mechanism. Right. I'm still following along. Okay, cool. So now when the narcissist meets you, the narcissist sees you, they like you, they're infatuated, they don't feel love, it's infatuation. Okay, before I go there, let's picture this scenario. You have a crush on someone, right? And then you have this huge crush on this person. And every time you see them, you just picture you and them together and how good things will be and how fantastic it will be. And you picture and you create this scenario in your mind like, oh, this person is amazing. You've never interacted with this person. You're just crushing on them from afar, right? So there's that person, there's you, and then there's you having a crush. So let me draw this scenario as well. So this is you. This is your crush. Can you see that? Okay. So this is your crush. This is you. Right? You don't really interact with your crush. You just like them from afar. You admire them, you're infatuated, you know. So what you do from your mind, you create a fantasy. You create a fantasy. So in your mind, you create a fantasy of you and your crush being together. Now, this fantasy, it's not real. It's something that you've created in your mind. When you picture you and your crush together, you've created this fantasy. I'm going to repeat that. This fantasy is not real. You don't know your crush. You don't personally know them. You just know them from afar and you admire them from afar. And you picture how cute you guys will be together, the beautiful babies you're going to have, those childish thinking. And you just create this fantasy until you actually start interacting with your crush. And then what happens? You realize they are nothing like the fantasy you created. That is why you never date your crush. Just continue to admire you from afar. Because when you actually start interacting with your crush, you realize the fantasy you created in your mind, they don't meet that criteria. They might be good looking from afar, but once you get to know them, you realize that they're sour, they're bitter. They are not what you pictured them to be. And then you just end up getting turned off. And then you wish that you never actually dated them. You wish you never actually got to know them. You just wish that you actually just continue to admire them from afar. Keep this scenario in your mind. So when the narcissist meets you, they're infatuated. Just like when you see your crush, you become infatuated. We're still on the same page. Good. So now when the narc starts liking you, spending time with you, taking you out on dates, before we get them, when the narcissist sees you, they create a fantasy. They create a fantasy about you. They create a fantasy about you. They haven't gotten to know you. No. They don't personally know you. They haven't taken time to actually know you. Just like you have never taken time to get to know your crush, but you created this fantasy, right? So the narcissist creates a fantasy about you. In this fantasy, in the mind of the narcissist, they create a fantasy of how you are. And then once they've created this fantasy, they believe it. They create the fantasy. They haven't taken time to get to know you. They don't care. They don't care about your likes, dislikes, interests, strengths, weaknesses. No, they don't care about that. They saw you, they created a fantasy about you, and they believe this fantasy. Now, because the narcissist believes this fantasy they've created about you, when they interact with you, they never interact with the real you. They never interact with the real you. When they're interacting with you, they are always interacting with the fantasy you, the fantasy that they have created. This is how the narcissist sees you. So I said, how does the narcissist see you? How the narcissist sees you? They do not see you. They do not see the real you, who you are as a person, your individuality. They don't see it. They only see you as the fantasy they created in their minds. So when they are interacting with you, they are not interacting with you as an individual. They are interacting with the fantasy that they created about you or of you. So they are interacting with a figment. What is this word? A figment of imagination of who you are, which is not what you really are. So when I say they do not see you, it means that, like I said, they don't see your individuality. They don't care if you have 10 degrees, you're a professor, you are the smartest person on earth, you are the most gorgeous individual, you are the most handsome man, you have a beautiful body, you have a six-pack. They don't care. They're not interacting with who you are as a person, your essence. They are interacting with the fantasy that they've created about you or of you. So when the narcissist says they like you, they don't like you. They like the fantasy that they created. When the narcissist says, I love you, they don't love you. They love the fantasy that they've created in their minds. The imagination or the figment imagination that is you, that doesn't exist. This fantasy, this fantasy that is about you does not exist. It is not real. Just like when you have a crush and you create that fantasy in your mind about how cute you guys are going to be together, that fantasy with your crush is not real because you haven't actually spent time with your crush. Now what happens when you start showing your individuality, when you start showing your likes, dislikes, interests, strengths, weaknesses, who you are contradicts the fantasy. So when you are not what the narcissist pictured you to be in their minds, you are contradicting what the narcissist is interacting with. Which is why the narcissist, they start devaluing you, which is a video for a different day. But I'll just give like a glimpse introduction. They start the devaluing stage because you are being disobedient to the fantasy. Who you are becoming now, the narcissist doesn't like that. The narcissist wants the fantasy that is you. The narcissist always wants to interact with the fantasy. The narcissist doesn't want to know who you are. The narcissist doesn't care if your favorite color is blue, if you love pasta, if you love going to the beach. I love going to the beach. If you love horror movies, I love horror movies. I know I'm not supposed to be watching them anymore, but I still love them. So they don't care. They don't care about your individuality. They don't care about your ups and downs. They don't care if you had a traumatic childhood. They don't care if bad things have happened to you in your life. They don't care if good things have happened to you in your life. Because who you are does not matter. Who you actually are does not exist in the narcissist's mind. In the narcissist's mind, the fantasy of you exists in their mind. So when you start showing who you are disturbing their fantasy. When you are disturbing their fantasy, you irritate them. Now they start looking at you different. Now they start shouting at you. Now they start looking at you funny. They start devaluing you. They start saying mean things to you. They devalue you not because they've met a new person. Because I know as people, we tend to think the narcissist is, I'm in the devaluation stage because the narcissist has found someone else. No, it's not about that. The narcissist devalues you because you are being disobedient to the fantasy. How dare you become your own person? How dare you have your own individuality? You are supposed to share this fantasy with me. I'm being the narcissist now. Me, the female narcissist, you're supposed to be sharing this fantasy with me. How dare you? Let's say you're a man that has a child. You're a man that has a child. You have your own child from a previous relationship. The narcissist doesn't have a child. Or they do. Doesn't matter. The female narcissist creates a fantasy about you as a man that has its own child. Now, when you are a man who has its own child, you have to take care of your child. Your child is your responsibility. So when your child needs your attention, your time, when you need to help your child with homework, when you need to tend to your child emotionally, physically, like you have to be their parent, the narcissist is going to say, how dare you give this child attention? How dare you how dare you make this child your first priority? Because in the fantasy of the female narcissist, they are the number one priority. So as a man who's dating a female narcissist, you will get punished for making your child a number one priority. Why? Because in their fantasy, the female narcissist is the number one priority. Now, when you are attending to your child, you are making your child your number one priority, which means you are breaking, you are ruining the fantasy they created about you. Because now the child is number one. In reality, your child is number one. But in the fantasy of the female narcissist, they are number one. So when you make your child a priority, you are ruining, you are breaking the fantasy, which makes the narcissist get angry at you. They devalue you, not because they've met someone else and they're going to someone else. No. They devalue you because your individuality is different to the fantasy. So the narcissist does not see you. They never interact with you. They are always interacting with the fantasy they created of you or about you. So let me conclude. The narcissist meets you. The narcissist doesn't care about your own individuality. Who you are as a person does not matter. The narcissist creates a fantasy about you when they first meet you. So all the time, whether you're together for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, they're not interacting with you as an individual. They're interacting with the fantasy they created in their minds of you. So now when you are doing things that are not in alignment with the fantasy, you are disrupting their fantasy. You are disrupting their world of delusion, because they are delulu. The delusion, the fantasy, you disrupted when you become you. So when you no longer are playing the game with the narcissist, and you start setting boundaries, and you start saying no, and you tell the narcissist, I'm leaving you. In their minds, they're like, how dare you? How dare you leave me? Because in my fantasy, you never leave me. You're always with me. They believe the fantasy. That's why I'm saying narcissists live in a fantasy world. Like I said in the TikTok videos, the difference between a psychopath and a narcissist. Narcissist lives in a fantasy. And they want you to join that fantasy. They want you to abandon who you are as an individual and fulfill this fantasy that is not real. So the longer you stay with the narcissist, the more you slowly die, because you have to give up who you are and become what the narcissist wants to make the narcissist happy. And by the way, you can never, ever, 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 ever make a narcissist happy. Let me show that. Happiness, narcissist, you can never make them happy. You can give them R1,000,000. You can do all the positions that you want to do in bed. You can twerk. I don't want to use foul language. You can cook, clean, give them 10 babies. You can buy her all the jewelry in the world. You can buy her a Lamborghini. It will not be enough, because you can never make a narcissist happy. Remember, narcissism, the self-defense mechanism. The narcissist abandoned who they were when they were 10 years old. So the narcissist abandoned who they were when they were 10 years old. They created the self-defense mechanism. So the narcissist is also expecting you to abandon who you are, to become this fantasy, so that when they interact with you, they never interact with you. They never see you. They are always interacting with the fantasy. So the narcissist doesn't know you. And you will start getting devalued. The more you become your own individual, the more you have rules and boundaries and self-respect, and your self-confidence is high, goes up. You're no longer insecure about yourself. When your individuality becomes stronger, the narcissist will start to devalue you, because you are disrupting their fantasy. Now they start shouting at you, because they do not know this individual. They do not know you. They want to interact with the fantasy. So that is how the narcissist sees you. They never see you. They never interact with you. They are always interacting with the fantasy they created in the mind of you. Take care.